This man wastes no time. Block, block, roundhouse elbow, knee to the face, and just tosses him like a used Kleenex. Welcome back everybody. Today we're going to be highlighting a character that's been around since the 1940s. He's had multiple iterations, but we're going to focus on what I think is his most famous on-screen counterpart. And we're talking about none other than the boy wonder himself, Robin. More specifically, the Robin from Teen Titans. The original one, not this one. Even though they're technically the same person. This version of Batman's sidekick was on demon time 24/7. From jumping bank robbers to running the fade with the actual devil himself, 2003 Dick Grayson was absolutely unhinged, and I'm here for every second of it. So, without further ado, let's dive into the perspective of our favorite boy wonder, Robin.
You know, Robins, the mask makes me feel cool too.
So Robin, aka Dick Grayson's origin story is pretty well known. If you know, you know. So we'll skip over how he became Batman's first adopted son and focus on him just before he met the rest of the team. So it's a beautiful night in Jump City when we come across a dark figure lurking in the shadows. Normally, if you see this and you're a criminal, you know what time it is. You brace yourself, ready for the ass whooping that's undoubtedly coming your way. Just to breathe a sigh of relief when you're greeted by a 5-foot-tall teenager in bright red and green spandex.
Bruh.
So you're probably thinking to yourself, this is gonna be easy, light work. And honestly, if this was any other version of Robin, you'd probably be right. But this one, yeah, this one might be a bigger menace than the Caped Crusader himself. Because when I tell you that 03 Robin was a certified smoke demon, that is an understatement. There's no witty one-liner,
Holy guacamole!
no goofy ass music, and more importantly, with this version specifically, no Batman to hold him back. This man wastes no time. Block, block, roundhouse elbow, knee to the face, whatever the hell that was, and just tosses him like a used Kleenex. I repeat, tosses a grown man like a used Kleenex. And since this is probably his first night going solo, you know he had something to prove. Because yeah, the whole reason he's here by himself was because he was tired of living in Batman's shadow. He said, nah, I ain't waiting till I become Nightwing. I'm starting my debut now. Granted, he does eventually start and lead his own team, but that was definitely not the original plan. So yeah, after putting this guy in a coma, he hears more commotion going on elsewhere and heads out to meet some more unlucky souls. This is our first introduction to Batman 2.0. Trust me, it gets a lot crazier.
Titans, go!
So, despite Robin's reservations about joining the team, they make it happen, and this man takes charge immediately. It's funny how he wanted to go solo in the beginning, but at the end of the day, he was the best possible leader for the Titans out of all of them. But I'll be honest, there were some rough patches in the beginning. You get the impression that he feels a need to prove something to himself after separating from his father.
You're not my dad!
Seriously, tell me he's not trying to make a Batman impression right here?
You should have thought of that before you committed the crime.
My guy, you know your voice is not that deep. But regardless, he eventually builds a trust with his teammates so strong that even the Power Rangers would be jealous. Under his leadership, they took on some of the wildest threats, ranging from petty bank robbers, who seriously have to be some of the dumbest people I've ever seen. It really makes no sense to me when normal, powerless people commit crimes in a world where a Superman exists. Darkseid had to rethink his entire plan in this universe, but Gerald from down the street thinks it's a good idea to rob a party city? Yeah, take this uppercut. Now, with Gerald out of the way, the Titans have taken on the likes of the Hive, Brother Blood, the Brotherhood of Evil, and even Trigon. And for those of you who don't know who Trigon is, he's basically the literal Satan of this universe. It really doesn't get much worse than that. And the person that led the team to most of those victories was Robin. But at the end of the day, a good leader is nothing without his team. His ability to adapt his relationships with each of his teammates needs to be studied. Let's start with Starfire. And for anyone who knows the lore with Dick Grayson and Starfire, you already know where this is going. Pretty much from the first day they met, they've been into each other. Like, it's so obvious, even their enemies see it. Robin has complete trust in Starfire, and that's saying something. You know, since he was raised by the most cautious, paranoid person on the planet. Then there's Cyborg, who basically acts like a big older brother. Even when they butt heads, they would always be there for each other when it really counted. So if Cyborg was the older brother, then Beast Boy had to be the younger. His carefree attitude helped Robin loosen up from his initial uptight demeanor. Dude is just a walking ball of energy and corny jokes. Lastly, there's Raven, who I'd arguably say he has the closest bond to after Starfire. Yeah, he's not beating the Dick Grayson allegations. Even in this universe. He and Raven understand each other on a subconscious level. Most likely due to their similar personalities, it's not really romantic, more like a deep sibling chemistry. Being a team, they each bring something different to the table that helps shape Robin moving forward. But the thing is, they weren't the only ones who influenced him. I'd mentioned a couple of reoccurring villains that they periodically dealt with, but there was one specific op that drove this man absolutely crazy. Like, seriously, their beef was so strong it lasted an entire season. Let's get into it.
Who is Slade? Who is Slade? Who is Slade? Who is Slade?
Slade. Don't get me wrong. As a villain, I think Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke, is dope as fuck. If you've played the Arkham Origins video game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the one pet peeve I have with this character is, why are you always fucking with kids? It does not matter what universe he's in. He's always messing with kids. Especially Tara. Oh my god, please get this little girl some therapy. Sorry, I just had to get that off my chest. Anyways, when it comes to the beef these two had with each other, like I said, it lasted about an entire season. Robin initially had no idea who Slade was, but with Deathstroke being, you know, Deathstroke, he definitely knew who Robin was. He could never beat Batman 1v1, so of course he went after the weaker one, with this Orochimaru looking at. But the thing is, Slade didn't actually want to kill Robin. Nope, it's worse than that. He wanted him as an apprentice.
You're weird.
So when Robin first heard about Slade, he was initially just curious as to who he was, but that curiosity quickly turned into an obsession. The lengths he went to get close to Slade to find out who he was borderline psychotic. It included, but was not limited to, faking his own capture, going undercover as a criminal, and stealing for Slade himself just to get closer to him. And he was doing all of this while at the same time lying to his team. I'm telling you, he was obsessed. He was over here beating up Slade bots that were already dead. Like, dude, chill. It all culminated with him actually becoming Slade's apprentice. So what basically happened was that Slade blackmailed Robin. Either become his apprentice, or watch his friends get disintegrated from the inside out because of this laser he shot them with earlier. It basically injected probes into their bloodstream, and with the push of a button, he could instantly delete their current save file. So, against his wishes, Robin had no choice but to don what I call the apprentice fit. And look, I gotta get this off my chest. Say whatever you want about Slade, but you cannot deny this man's fashion sense, because this fit is clean. He even gave Robin the custom mask with the curve at the top. Yeah, if there was one alt he should have kept in his closet, it was this. He could have shoved it right here. But anyways, Robin is now Slade's apprentice, and this is how you know Slade wanted Robin as an apprentice just to spite Batman. Because one of the first places he sent him to rob was Wayne Enterprises. Oh my god, I see what you did there. I'm telling you guys, this was all just a way to get back at Bruce. You cannot change my mind. So after Robin cleans out Daddy's safe, he makes his grand exit when he gets jumped by his team. They're all wondering where the heck he's been because he's been MIA. But Slade says,
"Sorry, my boy, but you gotta put your hands on him."
But...
This isn't a debate. It's an order. Now put your hands on him or I blow him the f*** up. Your choice.
So Robin had no choice but to box. And it's a 4-on-1 right now. And the team is holding back because they don't want to hurt him. But the thing is, so is he. But it's still light work for him. I'm telling you, it's the suit. The drip gives him like a 50% boost to his overall stats. But Robin does end up getting away and makes his way back to Slade. On sight. He immediately tries to sneak him, but Slade sees it coming and comments that they're alike, and that sets Robin off. They scuffle back and forth for a while, but when it looks like Slade has the upper hand, the rest of the team shows up just in time to save their leader. At this point, Slade is like,
"You know what? I'm done with this shit,"
and pushes the button. The crew immediately start cooking, and Robin makes a big brain play to outsmart Slade once and for all. He ends up injecting himself with the probes and tells Slade if they go, his apprentice goes too. So Slade realizes he was outplayed and has no choice but to destroy the button, which somehow destroys the probes. Yeah, let's not question it. But now that everybody's back to full health, we knew what was about to happen. Robin wastes no time and says,
beat his ass.
And this man Slade got jumped. I know for a fact this was one of, if not the most embarrassing day of his career. But yeah, that was the end of Robin's first run-in with Slade. It wouldn't be his last, but it definitely shaped his character moving forward. So, we all know Robin is an absolute monster on the field. I mean, it makes sense. He was trained by one of the best martial artists in the verse. And when it comes to flexibility, he's got even Batman beat. I mean, think about it. He's the only normal person in a group that ranges from cyborgs to aliens. He's got to stay on his P's and Q's if he's going to hang with them, let alone lead them. Honestly, if he decided to go on a villain arc, I don't think anyone on the team could do anything to stop him. Because for one, I guarantee he's got contingency plans for every single one of them. And two, we already got a taste of what it would be like if Robin decided to become an op. Twice, in fact. One when he was Slade's apprentice, and the other when he was Red X. He was casually embarrassing his teammates and it wasn't even funny. And don't you ever let this man get his hands on a bow staff, because that's GG. Like, he's over here rattling sentient cinder blocks with his bare hands. Like, what? The old man would be so proud.
We're not 5 heroes, we're one team.
Yep, that's that. 2003 Dick Grayson was a menace. And there's still so many other things I glossed over. The original Teen Titans series ran for 5 seasons and had a movie, so I may revisit him again in the future. Out of all the Robins to date, this one was a fan favorite. Definitely my favorite, that's for sure. The only other one that comes close to him is the Dick Grayson from Young Justice.
You're overwhelmed, Freeze was underwhelmed. Why isn't anyone ever just whelmed?
But that's all I got for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.